seen these before.
I've seen them, yes.
So it's much like the style that you've seen probably on the racing greyhounds. And what's most important is that we want to have a nice loose fit. We want the dogs to be able to pant. And we know so far, Coco spends a significant amount of time during the consultation today panting. And so we want to have enough room that she can actually put her mouth in, open, pant. We want to have space by her, by the tip of the muzzle, so that her nose has nice and roomy amounts, and then also that she can take treats and feel pretty comfortable. A lot of the dogs can actually learn to drink while wearing the basket muzzle too. So despite the fact that it looks a little goofy, I actually think it's more safe and more humane than having a tight-fitting nylon type muzzle for her. And if we go through the steps and we do it piece by piece, we can actually make her really comfortable and acclimate to the muzzle really quickly. And so the two pieces that we're going to do are some desensitization, that's just exposing her to the basket muzzle in tiny little gradual pieces so that it doesn't become something that's concerning to her. We just introduce it at tolerable levels. And then we're also going to do some classical conditioning, which is just teaching her to endear and love the muzzle. So we could probably achieve this in a couple of ways. We could grab her, put the muzzle on her face, and hope for the best. And there's a big possibility that she'll paw at it, rub at her face, and not like it. So if we pair it with something really good, and I've got some really good snacks over here, then we can actually teach her to have a positive association with the basket muzzle. So to get started, what we're going to do is I have a couple of my treats. We're going to give her a couple of tester treats first. And with the buckle part, that's going to go around her neck, we're just going to play a game that we start introducing it around her neck, and at the same time she gets a treat. Treat, just going to do a little bit of an introduction. Eat a couple, and then we'll slowly introduce it. And so my goal is for every time that the muzzle gets presented to her and that the straps go around her neck, it's getting paired with something really wonderful. So I'm just tickling the back of her neck, going around with the straps like I would if I'm buckling it, and she gets a little treat at the same time. If you wouldn't mind, I'm going to have you practice a little as well. Listen to you. Little treats. Sit. And she can actually stand. I like the fact that she's a little goofy and a little silly. And right now the thing that we're going to focus on is more so just getting the strap around her neck than just putting the muzzle part on her nose. So I'm going to give her a couple of the treats. Coco. And I'm going to sprinkle them on the inside of the muzzle and let her go in and go fishing. And right before she's done eating all the snacks, I'm going to kind of sneak it away from her because I want her to be teased and intrigued and want to stick her face deeper into the muzzle. And if she's really good, she gets to have the muzzle back on. Okay. So I put a couple of pieces in the center again, lower it down, let her have a couple of snacks, and before she can finish eating, then I slip it away. The other trick that I'm going to start doing is that even if I have some treats left over in my hands, I don't want to give her any free food at this point. So not just for sitting or not just for looking cute. I want to associate all the food and save that for using it with the muzzle so that she builds the two pieces together. Okay. Do one last round. I'll let you try some. Little treats. And what I look for is the fact that she's trying to race to the basket muzzle. As you're lowering your hands, you can barely get your hand down fast enough because she's trying to hurry up and stick her face in. Do a few more. Next exercise, actually I'm going to change it up just a little bit. Again, now that we have her intrigued, she's reliably sticking her face in. We're going to play a little bit of chase the muzzle and see how fast she can follow after the muzzle. So I'm going to put my really good treats in again. And this time I'm actually going to stand up, let her see the muzzle, and we're going to kind of walk and keep her moving around. So that again, keeping her face in the muzzle is the only thing that pays off to get the treats. Couple of freebies. So you can get her just moving a couple steps at a time before we get her to go farther distances. That will also help us to teach her to walk and move around comfortably when she has to wear the muzzle for longer durations. And so now, as the behavior is getting a little bit harder, we're actually going to increase our food value. And so before we were just using the dry treats, now we're going to use a little bit of the squeezed cheese. And I'm just going to put that on the inside of the muzzle so that when we play our chase game again, now we really increase the food value. And she's going to love keeping her face in. All right, so I'm going to load up the cheese again. I'll let you guys go for a spin around the room. Perfect. And the cheese actually builds us to the next step because it takes her much longer to lick the cheese out than it did to eat the dry snacks out. So once we have the cheese in and we offer it to her again, then we can start going back to the straps. And I'm just going to bring it around, kind of tickle the back of her head, and then take it away before she's done eating it now. So that in a few minutes, we can actually buckle the straps together. This time, if we see her backing up a lot, then we'll do a little bit less. Instead of going towards her and she's still backing up, then I know that she's not ready for me to put my hands as far around her neck. Perfect. you saw that she was starting to back up, and then we hesitated and we just did a little bit of a gradual piece. And this time, do a little bit of less again. Reach your hands maybe halfway up towards her ears, and then stop there. Because the whole important part of this training is that we want her to be comfortable with every step, and we don't want to overstep our boundaries. We don't want to make her uncomfortable. Perfect. Towards the ears. You might find that lowering it down right in front of your knees will invite her in closer to your body and give her less ability to back up. The last part of this, and we'll kind of work together, is as we start to fasten it, so if you can find a buddy, then one person does cheese on the inside of the muzzle, and then you can start to fasten it in place. So again, we'll let her hang out. Coco! And before she gets frustrated, before she starts pawing at her face, we're going to get ready to take off the muzzle again. So I'll keep going with the cheese. We'll take it off, and then we give her a little break. So no cheese, no muzzle. They equal each other. She can only have the cheese again if she gets the muzzle. We'll let her have a little break. She gets the cheese. You can start fastening. We'll give her a couple seconds to wear it, and we'll get ready to take her off again. Whenever you're ready. Do you think one last time?
Interested in the cheese.
Yes. And we have a dog that's pretty happy and pretty willing to put her basket muzzle back on. So we'll wait for her to walk forward towards the cheese. Seconds. You can definitely pet her and encourage her, and then we'll take it off. And we'll call it quits for the day.